Hello. Well, it's been a while since I've done a video update. The main reason is because I actually managed to somehow misplace the video camera adapter, charger and everything and all the leads that go with it. So I wasn't able to do anything at all, and we've been shifting rooms and doing some renovations and things upstairs, and I was going through a box of stuff about a week ago, and hello, here we go, here's the missing bloody adapter and everything. So that was one of the reasons why I haven't been able to do any video, and because dealing with a flat battery and having no power supply to run it will pretty much render the bloody camera useless. The other thing too is again time constraints, and I was looking through all my YouTube videos and noticed that the last time I did an update on this Murphy was way back in March, so shit, that's definitely a few months ago. Anyhow, as you can see, I've pretty much restored this TV, replaced most of the resistors and virtually all of the capacitors, apart from the ceramics and the micas and things like the ones that generally don't tend to fail. But every single wax capacitor has been replaced, and a lot of resistors were also way out of whack as well. So there was a task of changing quite a few resistors as well, as you can see. There's quite a few that have been changed. I said there's a couple of originals left in place. You know, I left the ones that weren't really crucial or still measured within tolerance on the meter. So the ones that you do see are the ones that still check fine. Again, a mixture of new old stock components and some new components as well. The new components being these Nichicon actual 47 mic 350 volt caps on the HT on the B plus lines, and there's another Panasonic. Sorry, a Nichicon one down on there. I think this is a 10 mic for the vertical section. But the majority of the other components are pretty much just new old stock, or and others like that. And I sort of figure, well, I use up all the new old stock first before I actually start going and buying components. And as always, the way you end up buying components, and you end up fishing through a drawer. Hello, I found some other ones I didn't know I had. So it was just one of those things, I suppose, is the joys of old TV restoring and collecting components and things over the years. So now over here, what I've done, I've used this wire wrap technique, which I have seen before, mainly in some of the old Philips test equipment. I have seen this sort of thing used in the past. Basically, it's quite good because it means you don't have to disturb these tag strips, and especially when you've got multiple component legs coming off the one tag strip, it's annoying. So it just takes time. So I thought, well, cut the old component out, make it the wire wraps with single wire, and then just cut the new component to length and solder it in. And yeah, it actually seems to work quite well. It looks quite nice and tidy and doesn't look too obtrusive. It's just something I tried, and I've used it in a couple of other places too as well. But there are some instances where I've had to change capacitors on as well with the same, and there's being resistors and capacitors on the same textures. I've had to virtually just desolder and then clear the old legs out and then physically solder the new ones in place. So that's why there's sort of a bit of a variation of component mounting throughout this. Yeah, so it's pretty much all done, and it's actually going quite well now. Definitely a lot better than what it was when I first attempted to get it going anyway. So, but it's been definitely a project and a half. It's taken a fair bit of time. I've been sort of coming down over the past few months and maybe doing half an hour there, 20 minutes there, an hour there, an hour here, or even changed a couple of components and going to bed, and the next night coming down and firing it to make sure the thing's still going. So yeah, I cleaned up the picture tube and cleaned all this up and all that sort of thing, just all the normal sort of routine stuff that you do when you're restoring old TVs. It's all the fun of it. There's some new ones down there as well. So, but yeah, there were a few little niggly problems I had with it. One of the ones that did take a while to find was the set would have hum bars going down the picture. you know, but they were quite fast moving, they weren't slow. And I noticed they were coming and going, and I just thought, oh, it's probably the, you know, at that stage I hadn't replaced the filter caps or anything. I'm pretty much, I just replaced the two in the double sig, but all the others were actually still, all the other multi-cam ones were still in place, and I just assumed it was one of those. So I basically changed them all out, and the bloody problem was still there. I'm thinking to myself, what is going on here? So I sort of thought, well, I haven't changed rectifier diodes, so I changed rectifier diodes and 1N4007s, and the fault still remained. So I whacked my scope on there and looked at the waveforms there, and there was definitely a ripple, definitely like a noise, like a band of noise moving through the actual waveform. Thinking, now that's strange, and I just said, oh well, I said to myself, well look, I'll leave it. I'll start, because at this stage again there was still a lot of wax capacitors, still a lot of wax capacitors and other older components still in the circuit. So I thought, okay, I'll just do what I can, and I'll once I'm happy that everything's been changed, then I'll investigate as to where these hum bars are coming through. And the fact that they were coming and going too indicates, I wonder if, you know, sort of thinking, I wonder if I've got a crook valve or something with maybe a shorted heat at a cathode, or you know, I've got a valve that's got shorts in it. Well, yes, I didn't have not one valve, I had several valves with shorts in them, several of them. Now I'm just going to get the bag of the container of dead bits. Here we go. Here is our little collection of delights. Let me just get some light down here. Okay. Well, here is our lovely collection of the dead bits. Well, pretty much we had all these valves were crook. They all of them had shorts in them. The worst one being the 60B8, the video output tube. That one had cathode shorts. It had, you know, in fact, it was amazing. It was amazing the actual damn it was still actually producing the picture at all. That valve had heaps of shorts in it, and it was, you know, it was amazing. It was still going. But yeah, I dare say that one had a lot of shorts in it, and I'm thinking, I think the 6HS8 as well, and the 6EM5, basically they were the worst of the three. The other ones had shorts for the first, second, and third IF valve, 6BZ6, 6EB6, and 6AU6. I think that was the detector in the audio. So yeah, no surprise. Basically now, when the set runs, there's no hum bars, there's no noise. Basically, the pitch is nice and stable, and yeah, that's really good. So obviously, one of these valves must have been causing the problem. So yeah, and the second thing I had was with the horizontal oscillator. Basically, when you turn the thing on from cold, you'd have no sync, and then it would correct itself after about sort of 10-15 seconds. I thought the oscillator was out, because as I was working on the set occasion, I powered up and it was, you know, the pitch was fine, and then the other times I powered up, the bloody sync was out. So I just twiddled the whole control and sort of just left it at that. But when I went to adjust the horizontal oscillator and did it properly, I sort of let the set run for about 5-10 minutes, and then went and adjusted the oscillator, and as per the book, and yep, got it all set up nice and good. The pitch was nice and stable, everything centered, and I left it at that, and turned it on the next night, and hello, the bloody sync was off again. The bloody picture was all bloody skew off, and then I watched it, and then all of a sudden the picture came right. But I noticed the picture was right off centre, and I stood there and I watched it, and slowly over about a quarter of an hour it slowly crept back, basically into the correct position. I thought to myself, okay, I wonder if I've got a dodgy component or a valve here. The first thing I looked at, as I've been reading online, the problems with these mica caps. First thing I looked at was this here, 330 picofarad cap. This is basically in line with the horizontal hole control, and the other end goes on to, I think it's goes on to the grid of the 6CG7. There's this cap. Hang on, I'll just get some light up here. Was it this one here? I changed that there when I heated heated that up and freezed it. It would do strange things, and I checked it with the meter, and it was well below 330. So I changed it anyway. That proved a little bit, but it was still, from cold, it was still off. The pitches were off to one side. It was still off, and then would come right. Ended up being that the 6GZ7, which tested okay, ended up being the problem, because I substituted it with another 6CG7 and tried it again from cold, and pretty much the picture was pretty much bang on. Was pretty much where I last left it. So that was pretty much the I think the culprit. So yeah, just because a valve test good doesn't mean it's necessarily good. And again, there were no shorts on this one, but yeah, obviously it was just a wee bit lazy to conduct from cold. So yeah, it's one of the old quality Jubilee, one of the caps, one of the old filter caps in the doubler circuit. As you can see, it's definitely past its use by date, as you can see there. So, and lots of wax capacitors, some real quality Hunts ones there. Those things are. I see a lot of these actually. They crack. And these little blue ones, I don't know what brand they are. Doubler, and some British, some British type of capacitor, and of course these. Everyone knows about these quality Ducons, guaranteed to be leaky. Every single one of them, probably damn near. So yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you how bad some of these resistors were. I found these resistors in the Pi set I did, the T22X Pi, which I did a video restoration on. A lot of sets from this era use these resistors, and they're shocking for going high, absolutely shocking for drifting. It's sort of a mustardy colour, obviously carbon composition type of resistor, and yeah, you know, every one of these pretty much checks high, or it's, you know, it was definitely you know, way out of tolerance. Some worse than others, but yeah, I'll just grab what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab a handful of them, and I will show you what I mean. So just let me get the flute meter, and I'll be back with you in just a sec.